So friends, today I'm going to take up the topic budgets and budgetary control, which is very important not only from inter CA but also from final CA viewpoint. So it is so very important to study the topic. And obviously, you know my app Costing by Devangi. Friends, if you have not downloaded it, please download so that we stay connected. You will get to know about the courses that we start. Currently, we have for May 22, we have crash course of 37 hours with 2 mock test papers, complimentary with it. Friends, just remember that whenever you purchase any course, right, it is not that you're purchasing just a course. Lectures will be, recorded and given to you, but along with that, you will be given a mentor. Right, so I will be your mentor for the subject and you will be guided throughout till you clear the exams. ऐसा नहीं है कि you purchase the course, then the duration is over, then you're not supposed to ask me any doubt or so. No, I will guide you throughout your CA journey. So that is one of the biggest advantage of downloading the app and staying connected with me. So it is a complete package for the subject of costing. You do not need anything else. Okay, so this is what we have for the subject costing for inter CA. And as you know that we are going live almost every week to cover the inter CA module, which is the students, they think it's really tough and they never open the book, and this is the reason why I thought of conducting the live session. Last session we did joint and byproduct and there was an amazing response for the lecture, and I hope you enjoy this session as well. Right, friends? So this is how the app looks. You must download it from the Play Store. The iPhone users can also download the app My Institute and log in with the institution code. And this is our chapter, budgets. It's the 15th chapter in our ICAI book. So friends, let me first tell you with what is budget. Friends, budget means nothing but a plan. Right, we make a study plan, we make picnic plan, right? So just like that, the manufacturers make a manufacturing plan, business people make business plan of how to do the business, right? They make financial plans, like this will be the profit, this much will be the sale, this will be the cost, that is in numbers. Manufacturers also make operation plan, right? This will be the sales quantity, this will be the production quantity, right? So we have both in rupees as well as in quantity. So basically this chapter is about how to plan. And what is this budgetary control? Friends, we often make timetable and stick it on a wall or on our cupboard, right? And we don't follow it. Then why did you plan it? The plan becomes useless. It is a waste if you don't execute it, right? So budgetary control is a system that helps you to make a plan, execute the plan, and then do the analysis of what you had planned with what you have done and why they did not synchronize, what was the difference, why was the difference, and then corrective actions can be taken. So in simple words, if I were to tell what is this topic about, budget means making a plan, budgetary control means having a system which will help to execute the plan. Got it, friends? So this is budgetary control, and there is lots of theory written in this topic. What I would do is, the session would be divided into two. Let me first take up the practical aspect, which is more focused in ICAI exams. I will not leave out theory, but yes, there is too much of theory in this chapter. So what you have to do is, thank you so much, Gaurav. Just wait. There's some technical glitch. Please wait. Mm-mm. So friends, so sorry for the inconvenience, and I'm back. So I was telling about the topic. Let me write and tell you everything so that you remember. Budgets and budgetary control. Friends, firstly, what is budget? It is a plan. And what is budgetary control? It is a system where we first plan, then we execute, then we compare the plan with actual results, and friends, after comparison, what we do is analysis, and then we take corrective actions wherever necessary. Okay, so this is budget and this is budgetary control. This chapter has got theory, it has got practical. Into CA, more of practical. So let me tell you, budget theory and budget practical. In ICAI exams, mostly, friends, mostly they go for practical sums. And what are the types of sums that you have? You have sums based on flexible budget, sums based on functional budgets, flexible, functional, then you have master budget. These are the types of sums that you have, and we are going to do all of it today. Theoretical part, there is zero-based budgeting, the essentials of budgeting, the prerequisites of budgeting, what is budget committee and all. So we will look at it. But today my focus would be on practical. So you must be thinking when I will take up theory. So if possible today, but if not possible, we'll take up another session, live session again for budget theory. Okay, I do not want to rush to finish anything, right? So there is no deadline as such, like we can go in our pace and study the way we want. So today my focus would be on practical aspects. So let's quickly start. The first is flexible budget. Now, what exactly is this flexible budget? Why we need to know, and what are the calculations to be done? So friends, when any manufacturer wants to start a business, he always projects his sales that I will be selling 1,000 units or 2,000 units. I will be operating at 70% capacity or 80% capacity. But he is not so sure of exactly how much he will produce. So he wants the figures. He wants to know his sales, to know his cost at different capacity levels. So he wants to make a budget at different capacity levels. And that is where flexible budget is made. Flexible budget is a budget made at different capacity levels. Same revenue, same sales, right? Same types of cost, but the units change. Like you make the budget for 10,000 units, same budget you make for 20,000 units, same budget you make for 30,000 units, and so on. So what is changing is just the sales volume, right? So when a manufacturer needs to know his profitability at various levels of capacity utilization, he will make flexible budget. So flexible budget is made at various levels of capacity utilization. And now when you make the budget, friends, you need to have thorough knowledge of what is the different behaviors of cost. Yes, what is a different behavior of cost? You must know this. There is something called fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. Only if you know the behavior and its calculations, you can attempt the sum of flexible budget. You should have thorough knowledge of this behavior. Otherwise, your sum of flexible budget will go wrong. Right? So firstly, what is fixed cost? Fixed cost is a cost which remains fixed. It does not react to the output. Right? Suppose if I have 50 students in the batch, the rent of the classroom is 1 lakh. Suppose if more 10 comes in, still the rent will remain same. So the rent cost does not react to the number of students I have in a batch. Right? So the rent of classroom becomes fixed cost. Now I give a physical book to every student in a batch. Suppose that book costs rupees 500. So now that book is to be printed for every student who takes admission in the batch. If there are 50 students, I need to print 50 books. If 10 more students add up, I need to print more 10 books. So this is variable cost, friends. Suppose if a book cost 500 per copy. Right? So this is variable cost. It will increase with the increase in number of students. It will reduce with the reduction in the number of students. Right? But remember, variable cost per unit, it will remain constant. So fixed cost total remains fixed and variable cost per unit remains constant. Right, friends? Semi-variable cost is such a cost which is partly fixed, partly variable. Partly fixed, partly variable. A part of this is fixed, a part of this is variable. Now, whenever any semi-variable cost is given, how do I identify? So what I do is I check the total amount. Let me write a figure. Suppose in week 1 and 2, the cost is 10,000, 15,000. Production units is 500 units and 600 units. So these are my cost units and my production units, right? So now tell me the behavior of the cost. For 10,000, for 500 units, the cost is 10,000. For 600 units, the cost is 15,000. So is it fixed? Obviously no. The total amount is not same, right? So this is not a fixed cost. Correct? First we check the total amount. It is not a fixed cost. No problem. Now we check per unit. Cost per unit. For week 1, 10,000 divide by 500. You get rupees 20. For week 2, 15,000 divided by 600. You get 25. Is the cost per unit constant? No. So friends, this is not a variable cost. Got it, friends? So we proved that this is not a fixed cost. We proved that this is not a variable cost. And hence I can conclude that this is semi-variable cost. Therefore, this is semi-variable cost. Friends, there is no chance, there is no way where you can directly say that this cost is semi-variable. First, in your mind, you have to think, is it fixed? No. Okay. Then is it variable? No. Okay. Then it is semi-variable. So friends, this is the way we do identification. And friends, once you have identified that this cost is semi-variable, and of course it is partly variable, partly fixed. So now we need to know how much part of this is variable and how much part of this is fixed, right? So let's see. How do I know this? So what I do is, I observe this units in cost. There is increase in cost of 5,000 rupees for 100 units extra production. For 100 units more, we have incurred cost of 5,000, right? So friends, cost per unit will be how much for additional units that we made? So what we do is, we take up difference in cost, which is 5,000. And this extra cost is incurred for the extra units that we made. That is difference in units. 100 units. And this extra cost for extra production, remember, it will be variable only. Because if your output has increased, your fixed cost is never going to change. Right? The fixed part of it will not change because you've increased the production. So the increased part represents variable only. So this is your variable cost per unit. And what you get is 5,000 divided by 100. It is 50 per unit. So friends, this is variable cost per unit. Now, if this is variable cost per unit, what will be total variable cost? Total variable cost will be 50 per unit into 500 units for week 1. Please check out what answer you're getting. $25,000 is your variable cost that is coming up. So what is your fixed cost then? Total fixed cost. Friends, it would be your total variable cost minus, total semi-variable cost minus total variable cost. Here for the first 500 units, friends, the total cost taken is 10,000 and a total variable cost has come to 25,000. Correct? So fixed cost which comes here is negative 5,000. I understand that the numbers taken does not fit here. Cost, obviously it cannot be negative, but the numbers here that is taken, that has come negative. Right? So never mind. But this is how we bifurcate the fixed and variable. This is the process. First step, what we do is, we take our variable cost per unit. Then we calculate the total variable cost, and third what we do is find out the total fixed cost. Friends, you can take other numbers and try it out. If I take the cost as 1 lakh and cost as 1,50,000, number of units remaining same. Just try it out. This is just for your practice, I'm saying. So what I would do is, step 1, I'd find out variable cost per unit, which would be difference in cost upon difference in units. So difference in cost would be 1,50,000 minus 1 lakh divided by 600 minus 500. Friends, what do you get? You'll get 500 per unit. Correct? And then you multiply by 500, you get 2,50,000, and then you take up the fixed cost, it will give you negative 1,50,000. It is just the arrangement of numbers that has given you negative fixed cost. Of course, your answer will never be negative, but just the numbers taken up are like that. So friends, this is how you segregate the semi-variable cost. Let me highlight the 3 steps. First, you take up variable cost per unit by using this. Then you find out total variable cost, and then you take the total fixed cost. Okay, and after finding out this behavioral difference, partly fixed and partly variable, now you know how to find out the cost for any other units. Okay, so friends, let me conclude this semi-variable part. Semi-variable is partly fixed and partly variable. Now we know how to identify it. Now we know how to do the breakup. Correct, friends? So This is what you need to know before you start with any sum of flexible budget. So what is flexible budget and what is the behavior of cost? This is prerequisite to make the sum easier for you. Go back to our budgets and go directly to the practical aspect that we are going to cover today. This is your flexible budget, friends, and we have a sum for it. Yes, go to illustration number 1. This is the first sum of budgets chapter, and it is based on flexible budget. Now this sum would be very simple because you have just learned the behavior of cost. Let's do it quickly. A factory which expects to operate at 7,000 hours at 70% level of activity furnishes details of expenses as under. What are the expenses? Variable 1260, semi-variable 1200, fixed expenses 1800. So this are the details at 7,000 hours. And friends, this 7,000 hours is the 70% level of activity. Okay. The semi-variable expenses go up by 10% between 85% and 95% activity and by 20% above 95% activity. Prepare a flexible budget for 80, 90 and 100% activities. So friends, the given detail is at 70%. You have to make the budget for 80, 90 and 100%. Right? One is given, other 3 are to be made. So this is nothing but a flexible budget, friends, right? Because the budget is to be made at various levels of capacity utilization, right? And while solving the sum, you will get to know that how the behavior of cost plays an important role in solving flexible budget sums. Okay. Now, variable expenses given is 1260 and this is for 7,000 hours and 7,000 hours is 70%. So first let me find out how many hours is there in 80%, 90% and 100%. So 70%, 7,000 hours. 100% hours will be how much? For this you have to do just cross multiplication, friends. It will be how much? Simple cross multiplication will give you that if 70% is 7,000 hours, 100% will be 10,000 hours, correct? So once you get to know that 100% is 10,000 hours, so 90% will be 9,000 and 80% will be 8,000. For every capacity level, now you got to know how many hours are there. Now let us make a budget of the expenses. Variable expenses is already known at 70%, it is 1260, right? We write as it is. And we know that variable cost is such a cost that will react to the output. If you increase the capacity utilization, this cost is going to increase. Right? So, if at 70% it is 1260, at 70% it is 1260, so what will be the cost at 80%? Just simple cross multiplication, 1260 into 80 divided by 70, you get 1440. At 90% it will be how much? So what we do is 1260 into 90 divided by 70, you get 1620. At 100% it will be how much? So for 70% is 1260, 100 how much? 1260 into 100 divided by 70, friends, you get 1800. So what you have to do is simple cross multiplication for variable cost. The next is fixed expense. We are taking up this first. It is 1800. We know that fixed expense do not react to the volume. You increase the number of hours of production, you increase the production volume, this fixed cost is going to remain same. So you can observe here 1800 throughout different capacity levels, it is not increasing at all. Right? Now is semi-variable expense. Semi-variable expense is partly variable, partly fixed. So we will go as per the instruction given. At 70% it is 1200, we write as it is. Then there are 2 points given. Semi-variable go up by 10% between 85 and 95. So between 85 and 95 what you have is this 90%, right? 85, 95. In between that you have only one capacity level, that is 90%. So for 80 there is no change. So we write as it is 1200. Between 85 to 95 there is increase of 10%. So what we do is 1200 plus 10%, you get 1320, right? And beyond 95, they've given 20% increase. Remember, we will apply this increase to the original number only, right? Students often make mistake to add 20% to 1320. That would be incorrect. Whenever there is increase, 20%, 10%, 40%, whatever, apply to the original data given in the question. Until and unless they mention that 10% increase over the amount of 90%. If they don't mention, apply such percentage increase or decrease to the original number. Okay, friends. So it will be 1200 plus 20%, you get 1440. And friends, this is how we make budget of variable, fixed and semi-variable. What you have to do is just take the total. And this is all about the flexible budget illustration 1. Right? So it is so simple. What we learned from this is now 3 things. Flexible budget is a budget which is made at various capacity levels. You need to know thoroughly what is the behavior of cost and how they react. Right? And lastly, what we learned is the budget that we make, right? Variable, semi-variable and fixed, right? It has to be based on original data. The change that we make should be on the original data. Okay, remember this and your sum will never go wrong. So this was very simple illustration number 1. So friends, are you there along with me? Are you solving it? Please reply in the chat box. I'm taking a break of 1 minute here to hear something from you. Please reply in the chat box. Okay, Krunal, what about others? Are you there? Okay. So let's proceed further with more sums of flexible budget. We go to this illustration number 2. I'm sure you must be thinking that, yaar, this chapter is so simple. Kitna mast, kitna easy chapter hai ye. Right? And we have not opened our ICAI book so far. And such sums come in exam. Yes, they come. Right, they come. And sometimes ICAI gives such surprises to us. Right? Itna easy sum dal ke. Okay? और ऐसे sums module में है. So no, there are chances that ICAI may give such sums. यार सब कुछ life में tough नहीं होता है यार. कुछ easy चीजें भी होती है. And this is one of it. Let's do illustration 2. A department of company X attains a sale of 6 lakhs at 80% of its normal capacity. And its expenses are given below. Now this data is given at 80% and the sales are 6 lakhs. Administration cost, office salaries 90,000, general expenses 2% of sales, depreciation 7,500, rates and taxes 8,750. Okay. Selling cost, salaries 8% of sales, traveling expenses 2% of sales, sales office expenses 1% of sales, general expenses 1% of sales. Distribution cost, wages 15,000, rent 1% of sales, other expenses 4% of sales. Okay. Prepare flexible administration, selling and distribution cost budget operating at 90%, 100% and 110% of normal capacity. Okay. So friends, what you need to understand here is that the information is given at 80%. You need to project the data for 90%, 100% and 110%. That's it. So what I would do is, firstly, I would find out what would be the sales. The sales given at 80% is 6 lakhs. I'm writing few workings of illustration 2 here. Not full sum, some part of the working. So friends, the sales given are 80%, 6 lakhs. What would be sales at 90%, 100% and 110%? Come on. Take your calculators and find it out. 6 lakhs divided by 80%, you get 7,50,000. This would be sales at 100%. At 90%, it would be 6,75,000. And at 110%, it would be 8,25,000. Correct? So now I know my sales at the various capacity utilization levels that they have asked. Now what I do is I make a table for the various capacity levels that they have asked. First column will always be for the given data, that is 80%, then 90%, 100 and 110%. Most of the costs are dependent on sales. So I will write sales first, followed by the cost they have asked. Now, for admin cost, I will explain you this one cost and I'm sure you will understand all other and you would want to do the sum on your own, right? Office salaries is 90,000. Now this is an amount given at 80%, right? They have not mentioned this is fixed, variable, this will change with this increase, nothing is mentioned. So what we have to assume or what we have to conclude rather is that this office salaries of 90,000 is fixed. Now the capacity level increases to 90%, 100%, 110%. It is going to be same 90,000 only. Got it, friends? So have a look at the administrative budget. Office salary is fixed 90% throughout, 90,000 throughout. And the same applies to depreciation and rates and taxes. ये एक amount दिया है. इसके बारे में कुछ चेंज होने वाला है वो बोला नहीं है, right? The amount is given and nothing is mentioned about any change or increase or decrease. So friends, this is again fixed. It will remain as it is at any given level of capacity utilization. Okay? Now some students have this doubt that till 100% it's okay. That this is 90,000 salaries, till 100% okay. But if you go beyond 100%, still it will not increase. Yes, still it will not increase until question mentions. Okay, so cost is fixed at any capacity level even above 100%. Change the fixed cost only if they mention. Okay, so friends, your depreciation and rates and taxes will also remain same. General expenses is given as 2% of sales. So obviously your sales are changing. So this general expense would also change. So what you have to do is you have to take 2% of 6 lakhs first. It will be 12,000. Then for 6 lakh 75, it will be 13,500. For 7 lakh 50, it would be 15,000. And for 8 lakh 25,000, it will be 16,500. Right? Such a simple sum, right? The given amount will be same throughout the capacity level and which is dependent on sale. It would change as per the change in sales. I'm sure you would be, happy to do selling cost on your own. Let's look at the question again. Selling expense, everything is variable. Right? Salaries, traveling expense, sales office expense, general expense, everything is variable. They are given as some percentage of sales. So everything is variable. Your sales are changing. All these costs will change. So let us find out the salaries and all of the cost at different levels. Your salaries is 8%. So we take 8% of 6 lakhs. You get 48,000, 54,000, 60,000 and 66,000. I hope you can manage traveling, sales office and general expenses on your own. And now we go to distribution expense. Your wages is 15,000. Now this some amount is given, correct? So when amount is given, it is fixed as it is. Rent is given as 1% of sales and other expense is given as 4% of sales. Right, friends? It will change as your sales changes. I hope this sum would be very simple sum for you. Correct? Please practice these sums at least orally so that if such easy sums come in your exam, you should not be shocked that, there must be some hidden adjustment that we don't know, right? Let's proceed further. We are done with illustration number 2. We have one more illustration for flexible budget, friends. That is illustration number 3. Are you ready? Please reply in the chat box. I'm waiting for your reply. Yes, friends. Chalo. Gaurav, thank you so much. I just read your message now. Yeah. So, illustration number 3. This is one of the very important sum. Action plan manufacturers normally produce 8,000 units of the product in a month in their manufacturing shop. So, 8,000 units is the production. For the month of January, they had planned for a production of 10,000 units. Owing to a sudden cancellation of contract in the middle of January, they could produce 6,000 units in January. So they normally make 8,000. They had planned for 10,000, but due to some reason, they could produce only 6,000. Okay. Indirect manufacturing costs are carefully planned and monitored in the machine shop, and the foreman of the shop is paid 10% of the savings as bonus when in any month the indirect manufacturing cost incurred is less than the budgeted provision. That means they plan the cost, okay? And if the actual cost is less than the plan, that means they're making savings. So the foreman of the department machine shop is paid 1% as bonus, and that's 1% of savings as bonus. Okay, for example, if they plan cost of 10,000, but they incur cost of 8,000 only. So friends, they have made savings of 2,000. Okay, so the savings of 2,000 is because of the foreman of the department, the supervisor of the department, right? So he is paid 1% bonus. So 2,000 ka 1% bonus is 20 rupees is paid as bonus. Got it, friends? But only if there is savings, right? Now here what has happened, let's see. The foreman has put in a claim that he should be paid bonus of 88.5 for the month of January. The works manager wonders how anyone can claim a bonus when the company has lost a sizable contract. The relevant figures are as under. Now see, expenses for normal month. Now normal month, normally they make 8,000 units as given in the first paragraph. Right? So expenses for a normal month, it represents nothing but expenses for 8,000 units. Correct? Then planned for January. Friends, they had planned for making 10,000 units in this year. So 10,000 units. So this is the data planned for January given for 10,000 units. Actual cost in January. Friends, they actually made 6,000 units in January. So this data represents for 6,000. So this data is for 8,000, this data is for 10,000, and this data is for 6,000. Okay. Now, the foreman is asking for claim of 88.5. I'll tell you why he is asking so much. See, for January, what was the planned cost? 5875. And what is the actual cost incurred? 4990. So your planned cost is 5875. Your actual cost is 4990. Correct? What is the savings and cost, friends? It is 885 rupees. Correct? And bonus is 10%. Here I have taken 1%. It should be 10%, 200. So 10% of this comes to 88.5 rupees. right? So 88.5 should be the bonus, and this is the reason why foreman is asking so much. Now, is this claim justified? Do you agree with the works manager? Is the foreman entitled to any bonus for the performance in January? Substantiate your answer with facts and figures and explain. So the point is, जो foreman मांग रहा है 88.5, is that amount justified? This is what we have to answer. So friends, looking at the budgeted cost of 5875 and actual cost 4990, definitely there is savings of 885 and 10% of it comes to 88.5. So whatever foreman has done the calculation, mathematically it may be okay, but logically, technically, in fact calculation what you have done does not sound proper. Reason being this is the number of units. Now friends, before I explain you the logic why he is not justified, I'll tell you one small concept behind how to compare the things. I got 52% in CA final. You'd think so less percentage, but CA final, oh my god, this is a big thing, right? My neighbor, he got 94%. Obviously not in CA final, he is in second standard, friends. Okay. Now once he told me that, auntie, you're getting so less percentage. And I was like, how much you got? He said 94. I said, I got 52. And yes, you're right, I'm getting less percentage. But students, tell me friends, is the comparison justified? No. If you want to compare anything, first they have to be made comparable, right? You cannot compare percentage of CA final student with the second standard student. If you want to compare the marks of CA final student, it has to be with some other CA final student only, right? So here, this comparison is void ab initio. है ना, गलत है. Same thing happens here, friends. How dare you compare this to 5875 is cost of 10,000 and 4990 is cost of 6,000 units. Obviously compare cost of 10,000 with 6,000. The cost of 6,000 will be less only, yaar. What's the big deal in that? If you want to make the actual comparison, a proper comparison, it has to be comparison of 6,000 units with the cost of other 6,000. The budget of 6,000 should be compared to the actual of 6,000. So, this is wrong what they have done. They have compared the plan, the budgeted cost of 10,000 with actual of 6,000. This is what they have done wrong. So, we have to make a budget for 6,000 and then compare it with the actual of 6,000 to get the actual savings made, if any. And if actually there is any savings, we would love to give bonus to the foreman. Okay. So, we know the budget for 8,000. We know the budget for 10,000. Using this two, we would make the budget for 6,000. And then we would compare the budget of this 6,000 with the actual of 6,000. Got it, friends? So, let's do it. Now, how we will make the budget of 6,000? I'm writing here budget for 6,000. This is what we are going to do. Now, for making this budget of 6,000, friends, you need to have thorough knowledge of behavior of cost. As I told you in flexible budget, it is only this behavior of cost that is going to help you, right? Okay. Salary of foreman. It was 1,000 rupees for 8,000 and 1,000 rupees for 10,000. So what do you say about the behavior of this cost? It is obviously fixed. For 6,000 also it will be 1,000. Indirect labor is 720 for 8,000 and 900 for 10,000. This is not fixed. So we check it's per unit. 720 divided by 8,000 you get 0.09. And 900 divided by 10,000 you get 0.09. Friends, per unit is constant, hence this is variable cost. Got it? So this indirect labor is a variable cost. Per unit it is 0.09. So what will be the amount for 6,000 unit, friends? It would be 540 rupees. Correct? Then indirect material, it is 800 rupees for 8,000 and 1,000 rupees for 10,000. Again, this indirect material does not seem to be fixed. Check out its per unit. 800 divided by 8,000, you get 0.1. And 1,000 divided by 10,000, you get 0.1. Again, per unit is constant. Hence, this indirect material is variable. 0.1 into 6,000, you get 600 rupees. Okay. Repairs and maintenance, 600 and 650. It is not fixed. Right? We'll check its per unit. 600 divided by 8,000, you get 0.075. And 650 divided by 10,000, you get 0.065. Friends, 0.075 and 0.065, it is not even constant. So repairs and maintenance is not fixed. It is not even variable. So friends, repairs and maintenance is semi-variable cost. Got it, friends? This is semi-variable cost. 600 and 650. What you'll have to do is take up its repairs and maintenance as a separate working note and do the breakup of semi-variable cost to find out how much part of this is fixed and variable. So what we do now is semi-variable cost, we leave it for a moment. Okay, we will definitely make a working note for this to find out how much is fixed and variable. Next is power cost. It is not fixed. 800 divided by 8,000, you get 0.1. And 875 divided by 10,000, you get 0.0875. Friends, even power is not fixed, not variable. It is semi-variable cost. Tools consumed. 320 divided by 8,000, you get 0.04. 400 divided by 10,000, you get 0.04. Yes, friends, this is variable. So 0.04 into 6,000, you would get 240 rupees here. Rates and taxes, fixed. Depreciation, fixed. Insurance, fixed. So friends, it is only two costs, repairs and maintenance and power. These two are semi-variable. We need to find out how much is fixed and how much is variable. So we are making a working note. First, we find out the variable cost per unit. That is by taking difference in cost upon difference in units. So look at the question. Difference in cost is 50 and difference in units is 2,000. So 50 divided by 2,000, you get 0.025, friends. This is your variable repairs and maintenance cost. And you take any level, 8,000 or 10,000, here it is 8,000. So 0.025 into 8,000, you get 200 rupees. So what will be fixed part? Friends, for 8,000, your repairs and maintenance was 600, right? So 600 is total, out of which variable is 200. So 600 minus 200 gives you your fixed repairs and maintenance. Okay? So if you are making 6,000 units, definitely you would incur 400 as fixed cost. And variable would be 6,000 into 0.025. You get 150 rupees, right? So 150 rupees will be the variable repairs and maintenance cost. So 400 plus 150, total is 550. Same thing you have to do for power. We find out variable power cost, difference in cost upon difference in units. You get 0.0375. Multiply by 8,000, you get 300 as variable part. Fixed will be 800 minus 300. Friends, you get 500. So what will be the total power cost when you make 6,000 units? For 6,000 units, fixed to utna hi rahega 500. Variable will be 0.0375 into 6,000, you get 225. Total 725. So this is your total power cost. Okay. And now, friends, we have also found out repairs, maintenance and power. So we have budget cost for all types of cost, right? And if you see the solution, expenses as per flexible budget, This is nothing but the data for 6,000 units. Right? This is the budgeted cost that we should have incurred for making 6,000 units. Right? And the amount is 4705. इतना खर्चा होना चाहिए था 6,000 के लिए, बट हमारा खर्चा हुआ है 4990. So there is increase in cost by 285 rupees. There is no savings, friends. There is increase in cost. So if there is no savings, we cannot pay any bonus to the foreman. ठीक है, तो foreman को ये सब में कुछ भी bonus देना नहीं है. So this is the conclusion. Got it, friends? This is very, very important sum. If you are doing flexible budget, then this sum is must. Okay? Now we move further. What I would do is, if you go to the part that I have written earlier, yes, here, I have told you that budget, there will be a theoretical session and today's practical session. Friends, we did 3 sums of flexible budget. Okay? What I'll do is, we'll go to the last practice section that we have. Devanshi, your doubt is how did repairs come? Okay, I'll tell you. I just saw your doubt now. One second. I'll get back to the question again to help you out. Oh my God, so many pages to scroll. Please refer to this point 3, Devanshi. You would understand? According to high and low point method, this is nothing but we compare the two levels. We compare the 8,000 and 10,000 level. Okay? Variable cost per unit. We take difference in cost upon difference in unit, that is 650 minus 600 divided by difference in unit. This is 10,000 minus 8,000. So we get variable cost per unit as 0.025. Okay? And then we can take up any level, 8,000 or 10,000. Here they have taken 8,000. Okay. So for 8,000, what would be total variable? एक यूनिट का 0.025 है, तो 8,000 का कितना होगा? 8,000 into 0.025, you get 200 rupees. ठीक है, अभी 8,000 के लिए टोटल वो लोग ने 600 कॉस्ट दिया है. 600 में से 200 वेरिएबल है, तो फिक्स्ड होगा 400. तो हमको ये पता चल गया है कि repairs is 0.025 variable and 400 fixed. I repeat, repairs is 0.025 variable and fixed 400. अभी अगर मैं 6,000 यूनिट्स बनाती हूँ, ओके, तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट भी होगा, फिक्स कॉस्ट भी होगा रिपेयर्स का. वेरिएबल कितना होगा? 0.025 पर यूनिट, और फिक्स्ड कितना होगा? 400. राइट? तो इनटू तुम 6,000 यूनिट्स बना रहे हो, सो 6,000 इंटू 0.025, यू गेट 150 रुपीज, और ये 400 फिक्स्ड है, सो टोटल वुड बी 550. Okay, Devanshi, not 500, it would be 550. Krunal is asking conclusion part of answer we have to write in exam. Definitely yes, you need to write that. There is no savings. In fact, there is an extra cost of 285 incurred. Hence, the foreman's claim of bonus of 88.5 is not justified here. Okay, you need to write this. ठीक है? चलो, आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस. अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. I was going to the flexible budget sums there in the practice section. तो पूरा का पूरा जो फ्लेक्सिबल बजट का चंक है वो आईसीआई मॉड्यूल का आज खत्म हो जाएगा. करेक्ट फ्रेंड्स? इसमें बहुत सारे सम्स दिए और बहुत अच्छे सम्स दिए हैं. बिलीव मी, अगर आप आईसीआई मॉड्यूल के सम्स ही करते हो तो भी आपका पूरा बजट कवर अप हो जाता है. ओके, सो आईसीआई मॉड्यूल फॉर द बजट चैप्टर इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हाँ, तो जो प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चंस है विच इज ऑन पेज नंबर 15.66, राइट, उसमें जो फर्स्ट सम है वो फंक्शनल बजट का है. विल नॉट डू इट नाउ. We can do this question 2. Question 2 is based on flexible budget, friends. Yes, ये flexible budget based है, तो चलो हम फटाफट से रीड करते हैं, उसे सॉल्व कर देते हैं. During the financial year 2021, P Limited has produced 60,000 units operating at 50% capacity level. Friends, जो डेटा दिया है वो 60,000 units का दिया है. Okay, and 60,000 represents 50% capacity level. The cost structure at 50% level of activities as under. ये जो सारे cost है ना friends, ये 60,000 units के लिए है 50%. The company anticipates that variable cost will go up by 20% and fixed cost will go up by 15%. The selling price per unit will increase by 10% to 880. ठीक है, मतलब increased selling price would be 880. What you have to do is require calculate budget and budgeted profit and loss for the financial year 2021. Okay, prepare an expense budget on marginal cost basis for 21-22 for the company at 50%, 60% level of activity and find out the profits at respective level. यानी आपको जो given data है 2021 का, उसका आपको एक प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस स्टेटमेंट बनाना है एंड आपको 21-22 जिसमें 60% लेवल ऑफ कैपेसिटी है उसका भी आपको प्रोजेक्शन करना है एंड यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट प्रॉफिट्स एट रिस्पेक्टिव लेवल. राइट, सो हाउ यू विल डू? यार फ्रेंड्स, ये काफी सिंपल है. 50% पे 60,000 यूनिट्स है, तो अगर 60% कैपेसिटी लेवल होगा तो टेल मी फ्रेंड्स कितने नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स होंगे? एट 50% इट इज 60,000, तो 60% पे कितना? इट वुड बी 72,000 यूनिट्स. राइट, तो आपको डेटा दिया 60,000 का, आपको 70,000 का बनाना है. सब्जेक्ट टू द चेंजेस दे हैव गिवन, बोला है वेरिएबल कॉस्ट विल गो अप बाय 20% एंड फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट विल गो अप बाय 15%. अब इसमें से वेरिएबल कौन सा, फिक्स्ड कौन सा? तो फ्रेंड्स, मटेरियल कॉस्ट 300 per unit is variable, wages 100 per unit is variable, variable overheads is of course variable, direct expense is also variable, factory expense 80 per unit दिया, इसमें से 25% फिक्स्ड है. तो मैं क्या करूंगी, इसको दो पार्ट में डिवाइड कर देती हूँ. 80 का 25% यानी 20 रुपीज होता है फिक्स्ड, तो बाकी 60 होता है वेरिएबल. ठीक है, तो जब भी ऐसे दिया तो दिस इज पार्टली फिक्स पार्टली वेरिएबल, तो हम इस दो अलग पार्ट में कर देंगे. सेम विद सेलिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एक्सपेंस फ्रेंड्स, 40 इज द टोटल कॉस्ट पर यूनिट गिवन, 80% इज वेरिएबल, तो 40 का 80% यानी 32 रुपीज इज वेरिएबल, बाकी का 8 रुपीज फिक्स्ड. एंड ऑफिस एंड एडमिन इज 100% फिक्स्ड, तो ये पूरा फिक्स्ड है. तो वेरिएबल कितना हुआ? 300 प्लस 100 प्लस 100 प्लस 60 प्लस 60 एंड दिस प्लस 32. तो फ्रेंड्स टोटल 652 आपका वेरिएबल होता है, बाकी का सारा खर्चा फिक्स्ड है. और ये जो 652 है ना फ्रेंड्स, ये वेरिएबल है और ये 20% बढ़ने वाला है, और जो भी आपका फिक्स्ड आता है वो 15% से बढ़ने वाला है, और सेलिंग प्राइस है दैट वुड बी 880. ओके, तो चलो अब हम सोल्यूशन पे जाते हैं, और काफी सिंपल है ये, इसका आंसर लिखना. It is question number 2. Firstly, they have asked us to make budget and profit for the given year 2021. Okay, तो अब हम क्या करेंगे, 60,000 यूनिट्स है ना 2021 के लिए, उसके लिए प्रॉफिट कैलकुलेट करेंगे. प्रॉफिट कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? इट वुड बी सेल्स माइनस ऑल द कॉस्ट गिवन. ओके, तो मैं ना सबसे पहले आपको सारे कॉस्ट समझा देती हूँ. ओके, अभी जो टेबल में क्वेश्चन में कॉस्ट दिया है, ठीक है, आप एक काम करिए, आपके सामने क्वेश्चन ही रखिए. ओके, तो जो क्वेश्चन में कॉस्ट दिया है वही सारे लेने हैं, and you have to multiply this by 60,000 units. That's it. All the costs that are given in the question is for 60,000 units. Just multiply them by 60,000 units to get the total cost. आपको ये सारे अमाउंट्स मिल जाएंगे, वो फिक्स्ड हो वेरिएबल हो, आपको सारे अमाउंट मिल जाएंगे फ्रेंड्स. ओके, तो फ्रेंड्स आपका जो टोटल कॉस्ट है ना, इट वुड बी दिस प्लस दिस. ये लोग ने कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन निकाला, अगर आप नहीं निकालते तो भी चलेगा, नो प्रॉब्लम. आपका जो टोटल आएगा इट वुड बी दिस मच वेरिएबल एंड दिस मच फिक्स्ड. ठीक है, तो आपको टोटल कॉस्ट कैसे निकालना है पता चल गया. द गिवन कॉस्ट पर यूनिट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 60,000. अब बात करते हैं सेल्स की. व्हाट वुड बी द सेल्स फ्रेंड्स, व्हाट वुड बी द सेल्स फॉर 60,000 यूनिट्स? तो क्वेश्चन में ना लास्ट लाइन में क्या लिखा है? क्वेश्चन में इधर लिखा है द सेलिंग प्राइस पर यूनिट विल इंक्रीज बाय 880 बाय 10% टू 880. यानी सेलिंग प्राइस जो एग्जिस्टिंग है वो 10% से बढ़ जाएगा और वो हो जाएगा 880. तो फ्रेंड्स जो ये 880 है ना, दिस इज सेलिंग प्राइस फॉर 21-22. दिस इज नॉट द सेलिंग प्राइस फॉर 2021, इट इज सेलिंग प्राइस फॉर 21-22. तो ये जो है इंक्रीज्ड प्राइस है. तो लेट मी टेल यू, अगर 100 आपका सेलिंग प्राइस है तो वो 10% से बढ़कर हो जाएगा 110. करेक्ट. तो ये जो इंक्रीज्ड पार्ट है ना, ये है 880. तो व्हाट वुड बी द सेलिंग प्राइस फॉर 2021? सिंपल क्रॉस मल्टीप्लीकेशन, 880 into 100 divided by 110, you get 800 rupees. Correct? तो friends 800 would be the selling price for financial year 2021. तो into 60,000 कर दो, आपको सेल्स का फिगर भी मिल जाएगा. 800, राइट? ये कहां से है पता चल गया? ये 880 है, 100 कितना, और ये 110 कैसे? 100 प्लस 10%. तो इट इज 800. तो 800 into 6,000 units you get 48 lakhs. Sorry, it's 4 crore 80 lakhs. And then just subtract it from this, subtract total cost from these sales and you get the profit of this much. Okay? तो ये हो गया मेरा profit and loss for the year 2021. अभी आपको सेम कैलकुलेशन करना है 21-22 के लिए भी. ओके, तो देखते हैं कैसे करेंगे. मेक एन एक्सपेंस बजट फॉर 21-22 एट 50% एंड 60% लेवल. मतलब आपको इंक्रीज्ड फिगर्स दिखाने हैं. if you operate at 50% and 60% in the year 21-22, तो इन द ईयर 21-22 अगर मैं 50% बोलूँ तो इट वुड बी 60,000 यूनिट्स, और अगर मैं 60% बोलूँ तो 72,000 यूनिट्स. करेक्ट? वेरिएबल कॉस्ट फ्रेंड्स, जो भी वेरिएबल कॉस्ट है तुम्हारे क्वेश्चन में, मैंने जो मार्क करवाया ना वी करके लिखा है, ऑल दैट कॉस्ट विल बी इंक्रीजिंग बाय 10%. जस्ट सी द क्वेश्चन. 10 नहीं 20%. करेक्ट? तो 300 प्लस 20% 360 हो जाएगा. 100 प्लस 20% 120. 100 प्लस 20% 120. करेक्ट? डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस 60 प्लस 20% इट वुड बी 72. फैक्ट्री एक्सपेंस में जो वेरिएबल है 60 प्लस 20% इट वुड बी 72. इसमें 32 प्लस 20% इट वुड बी 38.4। तो जो भी सारे वेरिएबल है उसको 20% से पर यूनिट बढ़ा दो, ओके, एंड यू विल गेट दीज अमाउंट्स। आपको ये सारे अमाउंट्स मिल जाएंगे। Then multiply by 60,000 to get the total. You are multiply by 72,000 to get the total. ठीक है, उसके बाद आते हैं फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट के बारे में। फ्रेंड्स, जो फिक्स कॉस्ट लिखा है ना, राइट, वो भी बढ़ने वाला है। Here there is also change in fixed cost. By how much? Go back to the question. Yes, friends. Fixed cost will go up by 15%. अब जो फिक्स कॉस्ट है 15% बढ़ने वाला है। फ्रेंड्स, वी विल नेवर अप्लाई फिक्स कॉस्ट इंक्रीज इन पर यूनिट। यानी इधर जो फिक्स 20 पर यूनिट है, फिक्स्ड 8 पर यूनिट है, फिक्स 20 पर यूनिट है, इसमें कभी हम इंक्रीज करेंगे नहीं। हम जो भी इंक्रीज है वो हम टोटल पे अप्लाई करते हैं, ठीक है, टोटल अमाउंट। तो फ्रेंड्स, हमारा टोटल अमाउंट कितना है फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट का? तो हमको टेबल, जो फर्स्ट टेबल हमने बनाया 2021 का, उसमें मिल जाएगा, इधर है। तो फ्रेंड्स, ये है हमारे फिक्स कॉस्ट, है ना। तो ये सब अमाउंट्स बढ़ेंगे 15% से। तो 12 lakhs प्लस 15%, फिक्स फैक्ट्री एक्सपेंस 12 lakhs प्लस 15%, 4,80,000 प्लस 15%, ऐसे करना है हमें। एंड फ्रेंड्स, ऐसा करने पर आपको ये सारा फिक्स कॉस्ट जो है वो मिल जाएगा। गॉट इट? You get total fixed cost, sales minus these total cost. Remember, selling price is increased to 880. Okay, तो sales minus this two cost, friends, you get the profit. ये sums जरूर ट्राई करना जो आज हमने फ्लेक्सिबल बजट के किए हैं। Okay, there is also one more question, question number 4. Have a look at that. Let's take a break of 2-3 minutes, friends. और अगर आपको ब्रेक नहीं चाहिए तो ये भी देख लो। ओके, इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल सम। हमने फ्लेक्सिबल बजट काफी डीप में हम कवर कर रहे हैं। वी डन 3 इलस्ट्रेशंस व्हिच आर इंटरेस्टिंग। अभी एक और ये पार्ट है जो हमने अभी किया, दैट वाज क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, और ये है क्वेश्चन नंबर 4। वी टेक अ ब्रेक ऑफ 2 minutes एंड आई विल बी बैक। So friends, I am back. Are you all there? Please send chat message so that I know आप हो. फ्रेंड्स, हमने फ्लेक्सिबल बजट के अब तक 4 सम्स किए हैं. बहुत ही अच्छे सम्स हैं. और अब आखिरी क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. ये फ्लेक्सिबल बजट का है. सो शैल वी स्टार्ट? Yes, friends. तुम तो मेरे से ज्यादा ही ब्रेक ले लेते हो. चलो, तो अब हम ये आखिरी सम कर लेते हैं फ्लेक्सिबल बजट का. लेट्स डू इट क्विकली. ABC Limited is currently operating at 75% of its capacity. In past 2 years, the level of operation are 55% and 65% respectively. Presently, production is 75,000. The company is planning for 85% capacity level during 21-22. Details are as follows. फ्रेंड्स 55, 65, 75 पर ये सारे डिटेल्स आपको दिए गए हैं. मटेरियल कॉस्ट, लेबर, फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड, सेलिंग एंड admin overheads. Okay, profit is estimated at 20% on sales. The following increase in cost are expected during the year. ये सारे increase in cost है. Prepare flexible budget for 21-22 at 85% of capacity and also a certain profit and contribution. तो friends, सबसे पहले contribution क्या होता है? It is sales minus variable cost. You get contribution. Okay, अगर आपको marginal costing पता है तो ये पता ही होगा, या फिर अगर आप FM पढ़ते हैं तो अभी आपको ये पता होगा. सेल्स माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट इज कंट्रीब्यूशन माइनस फिक्स कॉस्ट, आपको प्रॉफिट मिल जाएगा. तो इट इज इन दिस फॉर्मेट वी विल हैव टू मेक आवर बजट, क्योंकि वो लोग ने कंट्रीब्यूशन भी पूछा है. एंड द बजट इज टू बी मेड एट 85% कैपेसिटी लेवल. ओके, तो ये सारे वेरिएबल कॉस्ट है, मटेरियल्स, लेबर, वेरिएबल फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स एंड वेरिएबल सेलिंग ओवरहेड्स. बाकी ये जो 3 है, ये 3 फिक्स्ड है. मैंने आपको पिछले सम में भी बताया था फ्रेंड्स, एंड आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस अगेन, दैट व्हेनेवर देयर इज चेंज इन वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, ऑलवेज इंक्रीज कॉस्ट पर यूनिट, एंड इफ देयर इज चेंज इन फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट, ऑलवेज चेंज द टोटल अमाउंट. ओके, टोटल अमाउंट में आपको चेंज करना है. बस यही बात पे फोकस करो और आपका सब कुछ इजीली वर्कआउट हो जाएगा. तो आपको 85% पे डेटा चाहिए. ओके, तो मटेरियल कॉस्ट इज दिस मच. एट 55% इट इज प्रेजेंट, इट इज 75,000. तो ये 75,000 है, तो इधर 65 आ जाएगा और इधर 55,000. ओके, प्रेजेंटली 75,000 एंड 75,000 यूनिट्स, तो 85,000 यूनिट्स होंगे एट 85% कैपेसिटी लेवल, जो वो लोग ने पूछा है. ओके, तो मटेरियल कॉस्ट 11 लाख डिवाइडेड बाय 55,000. फ्रेंड्स, यू गेट 20 पर यूनिट. check out 13 lakhs divided by 65,000 you get 20 per unit. तो 85,000 के लिए 20 per unit के हिसाब से cost will be 17 lakhs material cost. But ये जो 20 per unit है, this is the existing cost, correct? And this is going to increase by 8%. Friends, it will become 18 lakh 36,000. Got it? तो आप 20 plus 8% भी कर सकते हैं. 21.6 into 18, 85,000 you get 18 lakh 36,000. Check out the answer. आपको ये समझ गया होगा. Material cost. Solution for question number 4. Yes, देखो. Okay. For labor, you can see here labor cost per unit is 10 और जो labor cost है वो 5% बढ़ रहा है तो it becomes 10.5. Labor cost is 10, वो 5% बढ़ रहा है, it becomes 10.5 per unit into 85,000. Friends, you get 8,92,500 as your budgeted labor cost for making 85,000 units. Okay. So this is your labor cost. Then we finish two costs here, material and labor. The third cost, go back to the question, is your variable factory overheads. Friends, variable factory overheads is 5 and this is going to increase by variable factory overheads, this is given here, and this is going to increase by 5%. So what we will do is for factory overheads here, it is variable, fixed, we'll have to find it out. If it is semi-variable, we'll do the segregation and then find it. Let's see. 3,10,000 for 55,000 units, you get 5.6363 something, and 3,30,000 divided by 65,000, you get 5.07. So friends, this factory overheads is neither fixed nor variable, it is semi-variable. So this factory overheads, we are going to do the bifurcation into fixed and variable. You know the steps. पहले variable cost per unit ढूंढने का, फिर fixed cost ढूंढने का, और फिर पहले variable, फिर total variable, and then fixed cost. Go to the working note of factory overheads. Too many pages to scroll. Okay. Factory overheads. तो ये है cost दिया हुआ, right? Change in cost is 20,000. Change in capacity is 20,000. तो per unit आ जाता है 2. तो variable factory overheads for 75,000 is 1,50,000. तो fixed part balancing is 2 lakhs. Now this variable part, which is rupees 2, is increasing by 5%. The 2 plus 5% is 2.1. तो ये हो गया मेरा variable factory overheads 2.1. Okay? Fixed cost भी 10% से बढ़ रहा है, तो जो 2 लाख आया प्लस 10% कर दो तो you get 2,20,000. याद रखना, वेरिएबल में पर यूनिट बढ़ाना है और फिक्स्ड में टोटल अमाउंट को बढ़ाना है, राइट? तो वेरिएबल में पर यूनिट है 2, तो हम 2 को 5% से बढ़ाएंगे. फिक्स्ड अमाउंट है 2 lakhs, हम उसको 10% से बढ़ाएंगे. ठीक है? रिमेंबर दिस रूल एंड यू गेट द फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स अमाउंट. सेम विथ सेलिंग ओवरहेड्स फ्रेंड्स. सेलिंग ओवरहेड्स में भी वो सेमी वेरिएबल है, तो आप वेरिएबल और फिक्स में बाइफिकेट करना. आपको वेरिएबल मिल जाएगा 4 और फिक्स मिल जाएगा 1 lakh. Now this variable selling overheads is given that it will increase by 8%. It will increase by 8%, मतलब 4 plus 8% it will be 4.32, right? And fixed selling overheads will increase by 15%, मतलब जो amount आया है 1 lakh, उसमें आप 15% ऐड कर दो, you get 1,15,000. Got it friends? तो ऐसे आपका selling overheads भी बढ़ जाएगा. Admin overheads तो friends 100% fixed है, तो जो amount है 1,60,000, उसमें ही आपको 10% ऐड करना है, you get 1,76,000. So friends, आपको पता चल गया कि हाउ मच इज वेरिएबल कॉस्ट एंड व्हाट इज द इंक्रीज कॉस्ट. आपको पता चल गया व्हाट इज फिक्स्ड एंड how much is the increased fixed cost. What you have to do is just put in the format sales minus variable cost gives you contribution minus fixed cost gives you the amount of profit. ठीक है, have a look at the solution here. It's here. ये सारे मटीरियल, लेबर, वेरिएबल फैक्ट्री रेट, सेलिंग ओवरहेड, दिस इज वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. Correct. Then they have given fixed cost. Okay, वो लोग ने पहले कॉस्ट लिख दिया. Nevertheless, you can take first sales minus variable cost gives you contribution minus fixed cost gives you profit. आप ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं. वो लोग ने नीचे कैलकुलेट किया है सेल्स, फिर सेल्स में से वेरिएबल कॉस्ट को माइनस किया. यू कैन डू इट द वे यू वांट. प्रेजेंटेशन डज नॉट मैटर मच इन कॉस्टिंग. आपको बस कैलकुलेट करना है और वो भी सही ढंग से. ऊपर लिखो नीचे लिखो चलता है. ओके, यहाँ पर कॉस्ट मिल गया. यू गेट 20% प्रॉफिट ऑन कॉस्ट टू गेट द अमाउंट ऑफ सेल्स. तो इस तरह आपको सेल्स मिल जाएगा. तो फ्रेंड्स, ये सम बड़ा ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. आपको ये ट्राई कर लेना चाहिए घर पे. ओके, अभी जाते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर, जो मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग का ज्यादा है, फ्लेक्सिबल बजट का कम है. तो अगर आपको मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग आता है तो ही वो सम करना. एंड दैट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. This is more of marginal costing. तो मैं चाहूंगी कि जब हम मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग चैप्टर करें तब इसको करेंगे. इसमें भी वही फॉर्मेट में लिखना है. सेल्स माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट गिव्स यू कंट्रीब्यूशन माइनस फिक्स कॉस्ट गिव्स यू प्रॉफिट. ठीक है, चाहे तो आप ये ट्राई कर सकते हैं. है तो सिंपल फ्रेंड्स, पर मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग के फॉर्मेट में इसे करना है. ओके, सो do it with marginal costing. That is more preferred over here. So that is the reason why I'm not doing this sum now. I will draw your attention to question number 6. ये question 6th भी ना more of standard costing है. तो इसीलिए ये सम भी मैं अभी नहीं कर रही हूँ, क्योंकि इसमें स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग है. अगर आप देखोगे इधर सब वेरिएंसेस कैलकुलेशन पूछा है, राइट? तो वी वुड डू दिस सम अलोंग विद स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग. ओके, तो इफ यू टॉक अबाउट फ्लेक्सिबल बजट, तो प्योरली हमारे फ्लेक्सिबल बजट के कौन से सम्स थे? तो फ्रेंड्स 3 इलस्ट्रेशंस, करेक्ट, और उसके बाद हमने 2 प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस देखे. तो इन ऑल वी हैव कवर्ड 5 सम्स ऑफ फ्लेक्सिबल बजट. सो फ्रेंड्स, हियर आई वुड कंक्लूड द फ्लेक्सिबल बजट पार्ट. अगर आपको आज सच में पूरा फ्लेक्सिबल बजट खत्म कर रहा है तो जो 5 सम से वो आज ही कर लो. याद रहे, व्हाट इज फ्लेक्सिबल बजट? इज अ बजट मेड एट वेरियस लेवल्स ऑफ कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन. इसमें आपको पूरी समझ होनी चाहिए बिहेवियर ऑफ कॉस्ट की. यू शुड नो व्हाट इज फिक्स कॉस्ट, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट एंड सेमी वेरिएबल. एंड इफ द सेमी वेरिएबल कॉस्ट इज गिवन, यू शुड नो हाउ टू डू द ब्रेकअप. ओके, ब्रेकअप करने के बाद यू नो कितना फिक्स्ड है कितना वेरिएबल आपको मिल जाएगा, एंड देन यू कैन मेक द बजट एट एनी अदर लेवल. ओके, तो इतना पता होना चाहिए. एंड वन मोर थिंग यू शुड नोटिस that if there is any change in cost, तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट पर यूनिट में चेंज कॉस्ट पर यूनिट और फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट में चेंज द अमाउंट. गॉट इट फ्रेंड्स? तो आपको अमाउंट चेंज करना होगा. ठीक है, सो फ्रेंड्स, दिस इज हाउ आई वुड कंक्लूड द फ्लेक्सिबल बजट. आई होप आपको ये सेशन यूजफुल रहा होगा. हमारे आगे भी ऐसे सेशंस चलेंगे. इनफैक्ट हमारा नेक्स्ट सेशन जो होगा दैट विल बी कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ द बजट चैप्टर. ओके, देयर विल डू फंक्शनल बजट और फंक्शनल बजट करेंगे, मास्टर बजट करेंगे, और जो भी थियोरेटिकल इंपॉर्टेंस है ICAI व्यू पॉइंट से वो हम करेंगे. Okay, so that would be the next session. For that you'll have to download our app and stay updated, stay connected through the notifications that I give. Okay, and I would be happy, I would be glad if you share this video with your friends too, okay, so that they get the benefit. ICAI का बुक कोई खोलता नहीं है अपने आप से, बट देखो हमने साथ में पढ़ाई की तो फ्लेक्सिबल बजट के जो सारे सम्स थे हमने कवर कर लिए. Okay, so goodbye for today and see you in the next session. Okay, bye bye, and please let me know in the comment section आपको ये session कैसा लगा. Okay, goodbye.